DADF, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying. And the purpose of this very unit is to review and revise the minimum standards as per minimum standard protocol guidelines. Already this detailed guideline, if you see, that is available on the government website, and latest guideline means as per this 2020, very recently that has been uploaded there, so we can visit there. The function of this CMU is also evaluation of sperm stations, submit the report to the department, that is Animal Husbandry Department, Central Animal Husbandry Department, and this inspection is done at every 2 years of interval. So this is the function of this CMU. This picture is a jump lodge unit of IVRI where I used to work before joining here. Even the pictures showed here in these bulls, this is also from the IVRI semen station. Now, if you see the grading of the semen stations, as I have discussed earlier, this CME used to grade the semen stations in terms of A, B, C, and D. But as you know that now this has been made mandatory that semen only from A grade as well as B grade semen stations could be used for artificial breeding purpose. So what is the meaning of A? A means X. Is there any problem? Voice problem? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. So A grade semen station means excellent semen station without any kind of deficiency. And we are fortunate we have good number of stations, that is 28. B is deficiency may be in one or two aspects, and that two of having minor aspect, not the major aspect. And we don't have at present this C and D, but C means deficiency in many aspects, and D means deficiency almost most of the aspects. Now coming to the why this artificial insemination is required. As you know that this is one of the best tool worldwide, and this is very much required for genetic improvement through the dissemination of superior germ plant. And for this purpose, this can only be achieved by use of frozen semen. Quality frozen semen is required, and to meet this quality frozen semen, to fulfill the quality, certainly quality standards are required. And just to fulfill this criteria, we need good bulls to be used in AI program. Bulls must be disease free, and semen must be harvested as per MSP, that is minimum standard protocol. If there is any deviation, any kind of deviation, certainly we can say this is going to produce the poor quality of semen and unfit for the distribution. We'll discuss everything one by one. Now we'll start from the standards of genetic merit of the bull, breeding bulls particularly. Whatever the bull we are procuring, bull must be procured as per minimum standard protocol and SOP. There is a SOP, what should be the quality of that particular bull, will come across during the coming slides. Bull must be progeny tested through the government approved progeny testing programs. And government has also made a committee that is known as, recently made a committee that is known as Breeding Value Estimation Committee. This is Committee of Government of India. And finally, this committee will give the approval of keeping the bull if that is being evaluated by the CMU. And if no such bulls are available, also we have another option. If no such bulls are available, that if progeny tested bulls are not available, then we have another option that we can select the bulls based on the DAMS lactation age. So this is the alteration. Now if you see the lactation yield, what should be the lactation yield? Also in MSP, lactation yield has also been fixed. There has been some changes has been done by the government in this lactation yield. And so that's why this is the most recent list. If you see, in case of HF, in first lactation, it should be minimum 7,000 and base should be 10,000, and with this fat percentage. Accordingly, for pure Jersey, it should be 5,000 and base should be. For Sahiwal, first lactation should not be less than 2,400 kgs and base should be 3,000. So this is the minimum. If it is improving, going better than this, it's okay. Similarly, for different breeds, I have not mentioned everyone, list is too long. Here, if you like to, I'd like to mention especially about the HF. HF cross F2. This is first lactation 5,000 and base stage 6,000. And for Jersey F2, this is 3,500 and base stage 4,500. But here, now the question arises, what about the F1? So this is clearly mentioned for the F1 bulls. The criteria of dams yield has been mentioned that is the dams yield of indigenous one. Whatever the lower producer which is there, the indigenous dams yield will be considered as dams lactation yield in case of F1. But this criteria has been, recently this has been increased, the star mark which has been increased recently, and this will be effective from 1st April 2020. Now, physical evaluation, physical examination of the bull. Before procurement of the bull, any bull you are procuring, thorough physical examination is essential, and that is required by the accredited officials. And once you selected the scrotal circumference, there should be the regular monitoring of the scrotal circumference. At least once in 3 months, this measurement should be taken. Body weight must be taken once in a month. And after thorough breeding soundness examination only, bull could be allowed to enter in the semen production center. Also, along with this physical exam, I'm not going in details about the physical examination because breeding soundness examination itself is a very big chapter. Now, another thing is karyotyping. This is very important. Before, until unless you are going for karyotyping and testing of genetically transmitted disease, we can't introduce any of the bull in our breeding program or semen station. And this is important to rule out any of the chromosomal defects. If you talk about, and norms are already fixed for the indigenous cattle and buffalo is separate norms, and for HF a little one more condition is there. In case of indigenous cattle and buffalo, 3 diseases must be ruled out, that is factor 11 deficiency syndrome, blade, that is bovine leukocyte addition deficiency, and citrullinemia. So this is important. And similar thing is for Jersey and Jersey crosses. But for HF and HF crosses, addition to this above, another is dumps, that is deficiency of uridine monophosphate synthase. This should also be done. So this 4 chromosomal testing of 4 chromosomal defects are essential. Now, another important thing about the quarantine. Before introducing any of the bull, we must ensure that bull must be quarantined for 60 days. This is a minimum quarantine, compulsory quarantine period. That is 60 days of quarantine. And there are certain other conditions with the quarantine, that the place of quarantine must be at least around 5 kilometers away from the semen station. And whatever the person who is maintaining manpower, equipments, feeding, watering, cleaning, whatever activity is being done with these bulls should be separate. There should not be common person for semen station as well as this quarantine bull. And these bulls should also be tested for the major contagious diseases. TB, that is tuberculosis, JD, brucellosis, IVR, campylobacteriosis, trichomoniasis, and BVD, bovine viral diarrhea. And this should be done by the accredited agency. So this testing is important. And vaccination is also required in this bull, and vaccination against FMD, HSBQ, theileriosis, and anthrax. So this is important. Now, many times this questions comes about the vaccination, that what should be the schedule of vaccination? Either all the vaccines are important or not. Certainly all are not important. Routine vaccination of all these things are required, but regarding anthrax, if that area is prone for anthrax, then that vaccination is required. In case of theileriosis, Certainly, indigenous bulls are not required, but this is essential that all exotic bulls and crossbred bulls should be vaccinated at least once in their lifetime. This is important. If any other outbreak, bacterial outbreak is there, certainly that will be vaccinated as per out. And during vaccination, if any febrile condition as per protocol, you know that if there is any febrile condition, we must provide sexual rest to the bulls. Semen should not be collected. And if we are collecting, certainly it must be discarded, should not go for incorporation in our stock. And also this is important that we must go for ring vaccination. In the radius of 10 kilometers from the semen station, a ring vaccination against the FMD, particularly FMD, is very much important. Now, the questions comes for the culling of the bulls or culling of the diseases, semen doses. What are the various conditions where we can see culling is required? Either we can cull the bulls or we can cull the semen doses. If bull is suffering from FMD, bull can be retained easily, but semen dosage must be culled of semen dosage of last 1 month. Whatever the dosage we have collected during the last 1 month, that must be culled. If bull is found positive for the brucellosis, immediately within 48 hours, bull must be castrated and removed from the herd. And semen dosage should be discarded since last negative test. If last year this, because this must be done on annual basis, so if last year that was negative, so from that very date, all the semen dosage must be discarded. For tuberculosis and JD, bull must be removed once this is found positive, and also semen is also discarded from last negative test. For IBR, initially there was a debate regarding IBR, because IBR many a times bull is found positive for the IBR in the serum samples, but negative for the semen sample. Certainly that bull can be retained, but once bull is found positive in the semen samples, that must be discarded. So now this has been clarified that if bull is positive for IBR, bull semen is positive for the IBR, must be removed. Regarding campylobacteriosis, must be treated and retained and discarded since last negative test. For trichomoniosis, that is the same as in case of campylobacteriosis, and in case of BBD positive, isolation and remove, and semen dosage are same as in case of campylobacteriosis and trichomoniosis. Now, if you summarize the when to cull the bull, what should be the criteria of the culling? Certainly, if you see all this red one, that is brucellosis, TB, JD, IBR, BBD, this, if bull is found positive for all these things, must be culled within 48 hours. And for campylobacteriosis, trichomonosis, certainly isolated and treated. What are the other aspects of the culling of bull apart from these diseases? Certainly, we can say once the bull has completed 6 years of the production period, after once bull has started producing the semen dosage and completed 6 years, must be culled. Or that bull has produced 2 lakh semen doses, so that bull should be culled. Or if in between, if bull is showing poor libido, poor semen quality, or some sort of incurable lameness or other conditions which are of incurable of nature, then that can be culled. Now, coming to the housing, what should be the housing protocol as per minimum standard protocol? The bull sheds particularly bulls must be kept in the individual pens with adequate loafing area. There should be proper arrangement of watering and mangers, adequate shade. Means our area must have plantation, so that will have the adequate shade and should not be warm airflow. Roof must be having asbestos or concrete sheet. And very important regarding the floor. Floor should be soft, or if hard, there must be provision of bedding, soft beddings or good bedding. And especially if that is summer season, because in our country, you see, we feel various seasons, in particularly northern area. So there must be provision for sprinklers or fans. Particularly, this is very much essentially required for buffalo as well as exotic bulls. Now, another important point, that is use of disinfectants in the shed. Many a times what's happened, this is a common tendency of all of us, that we generally use to go for a spray of either phenyl or formalin. But this is completely prohibited in case of bull sheds, because the smell of these products generally hinders the semen production, hinders the sexual foreplay of the bull, and many a times bulls do not donate the semen. So for that case, in case of sheds, we should use either glutaraldehyde or sodium carbonate. And weekly spray is sufficient. And floor should be sterilized once in a year by blow lamp or burning of the straws. Now, the management of the bulls. I have not covered everything, but some tips I am covering, because certainly it's a very long chapter. For the management of bulls, hygienic condition is required, must be maintained at all the times. Body coat of the bull must be clean and generally short. Their hair must be trimmed. Particularly, sometimes problems may arise in case of buffalo bulls. So trimming time to time, when this is long, certainly trimming is essential. Similarly, many a times hoofs may create problems, so regular trimming is required, particularly in those where is a condition of overgrown hoofs. So if there is overgrown condition, certainly trimming is required. Cutting off superficial hair. This seems to be very a small thing, but this is very much important. Cutting off superficial hairs above 2 centimeters of the superficial orifice. Many a times either no cutting is being observed or cutting with close proximity of the skin. So this is not desirable, because this cutting in close proximity, it causes irritation. So 2 centimeters must be left. Brushing and grooming must be regular. Superficial washing. This is another important aspect. Superficial washing should be done with normal saline solution at 10 days interval. And we have to thoroughly, routinely go for checking the bacterial load. And it should never cross the 5,000 CFU per ml of the superficial fluid, and also in the semen sample. And if this is observed, certainly, then we can reduce the superficial washing interval if this such type of the higher CFU is being observed. Then scientific feeding schedule should also be observed, and if possible, if this is in any of the institution and some nutritionist is there, if possible, nutritionist should also be the part of advisory group, that is for the scientific feeding schedule and quality analysis of feed and fodder, whatever being given to the bulls, that should be there. Now, semen collection area, particularly the semen collection shed. The place where we have to go for collection of the semen should have an ideal structure. Either it may be sand or maybe having some rubber flooring. If this is made up of sand, so already criteria is fixed that the floor must have a concrete layer, and above this floor, at least 1 feet, there should be a mixture of sand and limestone. So 1 feet should be the floor, this soft floor made up of sand or limestone. And if hard floor is available, then there must be a provision for rubber matting on this hard floor. And on day of collection, this is also important that all the bulls whatsoever will be put under that particular day under the collection must be washed and cleaned thoroughly, and cleaning of the superficial area externally with normal saline is very, very essential. Because if you see the bacterial load, contribution of bacterial load in the semen sample is very much by the external sources, maybe prepuce, maybe perineal region of the dam, or maybe our utensils or anything, because whatever semen is produced by the semen ejaculates is having no any bacterial load. So the source are mainly from the external sources. And another important thing is the use of bull appearance. Whatever the bulls after cleaning and washing, bull must be tied with the apron. You can see very much see here in this picture, bull apron should be used, because after mounting, the penis should never be touched to the groin region of the dam or any of the teacher. Then false mounting should also be done 2 to 3 times as per the requirement of the bull. Oh, some problem. Okay, thanks. Now, semen collector. How the semen collector should use their dresses? What should the dress? Semen collector must wash his hand with 0.1% Savlon, must use the disposable gloves, and should never touch the penis while collecting the semen. He should hold the sheath and direct into the AB, and should never thrust this AB towards the penis, but it should be, bull must get thrust into the AB. Once, this is very much important. So allow the bull to thrust into the AB, AB should never be pushed towards the semen. This is important. Size of AB must be of appropriate, and their cone and other inner latex material should be of neoprene rubber. This is very much important. Now the semen ejaculates. What should be the schedule of collection? What should be the number of collection? What should be the annual target in terms of the ejaculate? Ejaculate, this is a minimum standard that every bull should collect semen twice in a single collection day. Means single collection day there should be 2 ejaculate, and 2 collections at weekly intervals should be taken. So if you see altogether the annual target of a bull, of a single bull, if you see a single bull, there should be 90 collection days or 180 ejaculates from each bull. 180 ejaculates from each bull. So this is essential. And after collection, again going for, this is essential, we must go for cleaning and spraying of odorless disinfectants like colloidal iodine or glutaraldehyde. And cleaning of AV is also important. Just after collection, AV must be kept in the non-spermicidal lukewarm neutral detergent. Cleaning is very much. Once we left the AV dry, then that AV will of no use. Certainly, then it is very difficult to clean the inner surface of the cone or rubber or all these things. So immediately putting the AV in cleaning solution, cleaning detergent, neutral detergent is essential. Now after collection, this is not the part of CMU, but I have, because I have collected some photographs. I have taken different types of the sperm motility. So I'd like to show you people, okay? Because many times you go through our textbook, we read, and many times you don't get opportunity to see the different grades of the sperm motility. +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, whatsoever it is. So here with this idea, I kept these slides. If you see, this is +1 motility. Is this visible? So here, if you see, you can concentrate on individual sperms, and very less movement of the sperms are there. Very less. At the same place, sperms are having some sort. There is no waves, no wheels, no any kind of mass activity being observed. You can concentrate on the individual sperm. So this
not
is
visible.
Not visible.
Yes.
You can little increase the screen size. And this is +1. That's why might not be visible on it. Next. Visible?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Yeah. So here again, here you can concentrate on individual dots, better than the +1 previous slide, better than the previous slide. A very little mass movement is starting, a group is moving, but not making any kind of wave or swells or anything. Just initiation of making the mass movement in the form of swell, but this is not a really swells. This is around 20% motile spermatozoa. Now coming to the still higher, than 60% sperm. Here we can well this we can, but we can see from where this is originating and where this is disappearing. Is it visible? Is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, this is +3. Now waves, we can see the waves. We can see quickly appearance and disappearance of the waves. We can't see the individual spermatozoa, only group and bunches of the spermatozoa in the form of waves and clean zone followed by the waves. This is visible here. So this is +4 motility, or you can say this is 80% plus motility. In general, we estimate it like that. Most of the sperms are motile. Very severe, we get to see from where the waves are originating and where this is disappearing. We can't see even a single wave, their origin, their disappearance. So this is best quality of the semen, +5 motility, approaching more than 99% like that. So this is +5 motility. Now, after this, whenever you are going for, after this, you go for dilution of the semen. This is after dilution. This is under high resolution and 40x. So you can very well see the sperms moving. Then the first screen times enhancement is here, 100 time magnification is here. So post-thumb motility, and this semen sample is having more than 50%, around 55-60% of the individual progressive motility. And again, if you see in the higher magnification here, this side, another right side. So this is around 50+% post-thumb motility. So here in higher magnification, we can see the individual spermatozoa. So by this way, this is I have given for just for making a idea what should be the motility, how should assess the motility. But certainly it's a matter of long experience. After now, handling, processing, and what should be the premises? How should be our premises? What should be the environment of our laboratory? Again, this is important. Our premises should be sufficient provision of trees that reduces the dust. So must be a provision of sufficient trees, and entry of the person must be restricted. No person other than the laboratory personnel should be allowed in the laboratory. There must be a provision of airlock system or air curtain, and temperature of the lab must be maintained at 20 degrees Celsius. Preferably, for this, we should use split AC, not window AC. So 20 degrees Celsius must be maintained for the lab with the relative humidity of 55%. UV light. UV light must be in sufficient number depending upon the size of the lab, 2 or 3 labs. But here, one thing I want to discuss, that many times what's happened, we used to install the UV light even in other labs also, not on the semen lab, in other labs also. And we keep on using the UV lamps, but never think about the life of the lamp, UV lamp. Generally, the average life of UV lamp is around 2000 hours. 2000 hours. So we must maintain a logbook for UV light also. For how many hours this light is on, because this is essential that once this has been switched on, at least for 8 hours must be switched on, and then it will be switched off, and then we can start the work. Then fumigation must be twice weekly, and then there should not be any provision of this sink. This is essential. No cement lab should have this any provision of this sink, because this may be a source of infection. And floor must be of vitrified tiles. Regarding equipments, how should be the care of the equipments? All the equipments, either digital spectrophotometer or computer aided spectrophotometer, must be validated with hemocytometer reading at least twice in a year. Regular validation is important. Then our machine, automatic filling sealing printing machine, must be thoroughly cleaned after every use. Microscope should be, lenses particularly must be thoroughly cleaned using ether and this alcohol, ethyl alcohol. Incubators, many times we used to clean so many things but never think about cleaning of incubator. Our incubator should also be cleaned using 20% alcohol. This is important. And another important thing is autoclave, use of autoclave and water bath. I have seen in many labs, generally water, if you see the water autoclave from the inner aspect of the autoclave, that is full of calcium adhered in the inner portion of the autoclave. Similar condition is in case of water bath also. So this is essential that we should always use single distilled water and will not get such type of deposition of calcium after using this water. So this is essential. Then refrigerator, every cement lab should have at least minimum two refrigerators, separate for storing eggs, antibiotics, buffers, and for other chemicals, there must be a separate. There should not be any direct light entry of, if you see this very lab in this picture, direct light is coming in the lab. We can have a film, black film on the glasses to avoid the direct light, entry of direct light. Now, personal hygiene. The person who is attending the bulls or other staff members involved in the lab must be tested for tuberculosis every year. Bull attendants every year, and other staff at least once in 2 years, once in 2 years for tuberculosis. This is important. Then our diluent must be stored in purified water. Prolonged storage is not required. And after preparation, sterilization is important. Many times we used to prepare the diluter, we are not sterilizing. This is sterilization, autoclaving is important. Now, there are two recommendations for the antibiotics, use of antibiotics in the diluters. Routinely, combination of penicillin and streptomycin is being used, but that should be used of air grade. It should not be routine injectable antibiotics that you are using for the treatment. It should not be used such type of antibiotic. And if there is any doubt of mycoplasma, then we can use this GTLS, that is gentamicin, tylosin, lincospectin, and spectrinomycin. Combination of these antibiotics could be used, and this may be preferred. So either this or this combination could be used. And egg, whatever using the egg we are using for making the diluter, fresh egg should be fresh and should be of known source. Many times, many of the cement lab, what they did, they have just make a liaison with the egg production farmers, and they on daily basis they used to supply the fresh egg for the diluter preparation. So we must ensure that egg must be fresh, and before using the egg must be sterilized with moving with 20% alcohol. Now, how to go for evaluation and processing laboratory? I'm not going in detail about, because this is certainly a big chapter. But after collection of the ejaculate, the semen sample must be kept in water bath having 34-35 degrees Celsius in a laminar flow unit. Then go for initial evaluation, that is volume, mass motility, concentration, initial progressive motility, all these things. And once this is found satisfactory, means having more than 500 millions of the spermatozoa per ml, more than 70% motility, then we can go for dilution. And for dilution, you must think that the final concentration should be 20 millions motile spermatozoa per straw. This is important. And then we go for filling, selling, printing of the straws, and everything should be done in laminar airflow unit. And after doing all these activity, then we go for equilibration of the straws. And after equilibration, then finally we come for freezing using biological freezer. And already there is almost 7 minutes fixed protocol is there, and then in that protocol we can go for freeze. Now another important aspect is specifications, color specifications for the straws. Already this has been specified. Fixed color of the straws has been fixed depending upon the breed. For HF, pink straw or rose straw. For HF cross, light green straw, Jersey, yellow straw. So likewise, this type of color combinations, color have been already decided. And if that animal is not falling in these color codes, then we can use transparent straw. Transparent straw can be used. So one laboratory, any laboratory, this is essential for all the laboratory, they must follow all the color codes. Similarly, printing of the straws. What information should be printed over the straw? This is also important. So preferably this printing should be done at room temperature, and these information, 7 information should be there. Out of these 7 informations, first 5 informations are essential. That is semen station's bull ID, alphanumeric number, breed, semen station name, batch number, which batch of semen is. Even ejaculate should also be mentioned. Batch within bracket, ejaculate number. Either this is first ejaculate or second ejaculate. So this is important. And DAMS lactation yield and source. This is also important. Now this has been clarified. Then DAMS lactation yield. It must be mentioned so that user can know, yes, what is the DAMS yield, whatever extra user is or our livestock owner is using, they can know, yes, what is the DAMS yield. Now this has been made compulsory. So this is the different color code of the extra that is being kept here in the freezing tank, and such type of clear cut printing should be there. Now 3-character semen station code. Already this is also decided that what should be the, because this is essential that semen station name should be mentioned there, and space is very limited. So 3-character code has been decided for all the semen stations, and 54 semen stations they have given the code. Code has been allotted like this. For example, ABC Salon, which is in UP and trust type of organization, ABC. So this ABC indicates ABC Salon. Extra from Amul, AMU. Biofestra, BAF. Similarly, from the Hasargata, which is in Karnataka government organization, CSF. SAG village, Sabarmati Ashram Gosala village. Again, BDJ. Likewise, this 3 code character for the semen station should be there. Accordingly, breed code should also be mentioned. And this is also specified. We can't change the code of the, can't abbreviate the breed code of our own. For Jersey, JYE, for HF, Holstein HF, crossbred, HF cross, CB HF, like this. So this must be followed. Now coming to the post-therm motility, how to examine. Post-therm motility should always be examined 24 hours. We have done everything. Now our aim is to have to examine the post-therm motility. It should be examined 12 hours after the freezing. And if there is any doubt in assessing the post-therm motility, 2 experienced person must be examined. And preferably, this must be, we must think that no person who has already assessed the initial motility should involve in assessing the post-therm motility, because this is a human tendency, this is a human nature. Suppose I am assessing the initial motility and myself again is assessing the post-term motility. This is a human nature that we can show the exaggerated result, higher result, or many things may be possible. So the person who is assessing individual motility at the fresh state should not be examined, preferably post-term motility. And if any frozen semen extra is having more than less than 50% post-term motility, must be discarded. This is the thawing kit that give constant temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, and that can be used for thawing of the semen. This is IMB make and very cheaper one also. Now, what are the other quality checks for frozen semen estrogen? What are the other quality parameters? For bacterial load, already 5,000 CFU is fixed, and every batch of extra must be checked. HOST, it should always be more than 40%, and all bulls must be checked at least once in a quarter. For incubation test, thermoresistant test, should be a standard drop of 10% at every 30 minutes, and again the checking period is as in case of the HOST. Acrosomal intact acrosome should be always more than 65%. The sperm concentration must be randomly checked at 6 monthly basis and should have 20 million sperms per dosage. And estrus, this is mandatory that every semen station must use 0.25 ml mini extra. And in no case morphological abnormality should be more than 20%. Should always be less than 20%. And again, this is randomly checked at 6 month interval. Now, information system. Every semen sample, semen station, particularly when this is going for the monitoring, CMU monitoring, must have suitable software, and already INDIRIBI has they have made a software, comprehensive software, and that is mandatory for every semen station, and all sorts of information is there. So that software is important. Barcoding system should also be there. That can be individually designed. Then particularly when semen station is having more than 1 million doses, then barcoding system is important. Then other important records, like recording for various type of evaluations like volume, density, color, concentration, all these things must be recorded there. And other miscellaneous records should also be there. Each and every kind of record, like what are the actual reasons for bull is not donating the semen, bull breeding record, then bull training record, then morphological abnormalities, their pH, any dirt, what kind of problems we are arising. Everything, every little thing must be recorded, and we should have proper recording. Because all these recordings, it just provide the input for future, taking the future corrective measure. So this is important. So all sorts of recording should be there. Now, storage of the semen. Frozen semen doses must be stored in liquid nitrogen, and this is very much essential with respect to dispatch. No semen dose should be dispatched before 30 days of storage. Means once today's semen sample has been stored, cryopreserved, at least there should be a 30 days waiting period. After that only we can go for dispatching this stored semen sample. Then every time there should be checking of post-term motility, every batch when we are giving the semen sample. And then replacing of liquid nitrogen. We must replenish the liquid nitrogen at regular interval. There should be regular check of level of liquid nitrogen in the container. And there must be a proper recording. What is the evaporation rate in that particular canister, and at what interval we are putting the replenishing the liquid nitrogen. This is important. Now, another very important aspect, that is cleaning and sterilization of different equipments, items, how we go ahead. Now, laboratory area and other areas, certainly this is cold fumigation is required. For the AB, autoclaves are required. I'm not going in detail about what should be the pressure and what should be the timing, because everything are fixed, and this will be, you can go through these slides. In coming slides, time temperature combinations are there, so you can go through. Distilled water must be fresh, triple glass distilled water or Milikyo purified water must be, and this should be autoclave before use. Likewise, buffer, media, filter paper must be sterilized. This is important. This is a summary of sterilization for autoclaving for different item, what should be the pressure and what should be the timing. So we should follow all these pressure and temperature timing, and this is essential. Similarly, in case of whatever things you are putting glasswares, this should be temperature and time combination. For nozzles, nozzle means heavy nozzles I'm talking about, this should be the temperature and time combination. If we are using gas sterilizer, because generally this is very much recommended in case of ET program, but if we are having you can use it. We are using ethyl oxide gas, so this should be the specification. This is gas sterilizer. Now, quality control of consumables. As I stated earlier also, chemicals, all the chemicals must be of AR grade or GR grade. Means should be from reputed company, should have purity more than 99%. Esters must be procured from the reputed company. We should check the factory plug-in, should not be loose, must be intact. Esters must be intact, should not be any problem, must be easily printable. Many times what we have experienced, we used to procure the ester from the reputed firm, but printing is not very much comfortable. So if such type of problem arises, certainly we must have to replace the ester. So printability is very much essential. We should see, these are the minor things, but very, very important. Otherwise, after printing, if you are not readable, certainly that will have limited use or almost no use. We should also examine the movement of factory plug. Then extra should routinely be used for the microbial load. And this is a recommendation that the cement station should avoid purchase of consumables on the lowest quotation basis. Means this is not recommended. This is whatever the better supplier is available, which is authenticated, that can be procured, and one should avoid on the lower quote basis. Because ultimately you have to give the quality. So this is the recommendation. Now the manpower requirement. Many times this question is, what should be the manpower? So the manpower requirement of any of the cement station, it depends upon the annual production. Up to 5 lakh dosage, up to 5 to 10 lakh dosage, up to 10 to 25, and above 25. This is the manpower. What should be the number of officer in charge, VOs, quality control officer, lab technician, lab attendant, office assistant, and pool attendant. Pool attendants in any of the lab, there is a norm that on every 7 to 8 pools there should be a provision of 1 person. Some sound problem I am facing. Some haziness.
So I think some people have put their mic. I'm just closing.
Just 2 slides are remaining. I'm finishing just.
Please.
And for dispatch of cement, there should be separate official. No official involved in the lab should be allowed for the dispatch. So there must be a separate official for the dispatch of the cement. And this is also mandatory that a refresher course or visit of all the officials involved in cement lab, different official, I'm talking about all the officials, to any of the reputed cement station, or as it realized, it is essential. So training is also essential, at least once in 2 to 3 years. This is essential. Now this is the list of equipments that is required in the cement lab. So it is listed here. So these are the important major equipments I have listed here. So now this is now I'm concluding my talk. So if you see the overall, the idea is that an ideal semen station should follow the prescribed norms of minimum standard protocol. We must take all sanitary measures from rearing, starting from the rearing of the bull to the collection, processing, freezing, storage, transportation, and everything. Because ultimate, we are concerned with the quality control. Quality control is very much important. And semen should be of high quality, should maintain the good fertility rate. Because our ultimate aim is getting the fertility rate. So I am just finishing my talk with the important quote that because we are involved in handling of the animal and kindness is utmost important. So what I feel that kindness makes you most beautiful person in the world, no matter what you look like. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Thanks.
Thank you.
Doctor साहब, questions are
Yeah. हाँ,
on the
yes. मैं
this
देखता हूँ सर.
बहुत ज्यादा questions हैं. I think उसमें कुछ important आप देख लीजिए, बाकी mails पे attempt कर लीजिएगा. क्योंकि this is up to you. I leave it up to you.
Yeah.
Please.
So we are starting from first question. Good morning. Then culling of bulls after production of 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs semen dosage. I don't understand. 2 lakhs. This is as per MSP. 2 lakhs semen dosage. This is as per MSP. Then anthrax vaccine can be given in the area if is prone to anthrax or outbreak, but for bulls it is not recommended, it seems. As per if area is having prone for the anthrax, it is being given as a per recommendation of the minimum standard protocol, because anthrax is very, you can say, already notifiable disease and will not find anthrax. Very few places you can find, but wherever the area where semen semen station is there and there is prevalence of anthrax can be vaccinated. What is the most important fertility factor in bull semen till now? This is total academic question, but certainly this fertility proteins nowadays, Ankesh, very academic, very scientific question. So fertility associated proteins are now many labs, many scientific reports are showing that so many fertility associated proteins are there, and that is an important consideration for deciding the fertility of a bull. Now, is there any MSP for female progeny testing? Not yet. I have not gone through. Then F1 bull is better or next generation selected on the, certainly F1 is better, but here F1 and F2 criteria for F1 as well as F2 is different. For F1, the dam shield for F1 is just equal to the dam shield of dam of indigenous, and in F2 already I have discussed the criteria. Now another questions, sir, culling of bull, already this we have discussed. 3 years of age, already same repeated one. What happens if AB is approached to the penis? It's fine. What's happened is AB is approached to the penis, because this is the nature of the bull, that bull always donates the semen with a heavy or massive thrust. So if you approach the AB to the penis, bull will not find the place for thrust, and there may be injury to the penis. That's why AB should never be pushed towards the penis. Hot summer month has been found to decrease semen quality. Should frequency of collection be reduced? Yeah, certainly, depending, because provisions are very important. As I have discussed, in hot seasons there must be provision for showering, cold shower, shades, fans, there should be there. And this has been proved. A very big project has been done way back in summer infertility and this at Mathura, Veterinary College Mathura. And there is a clear-cut indication that if you provide the facilities to overcome the problem of hot and stress season, certainly production will be improved. Then only important relevant post structure. Fine. What is the criteria of marking division for grading A and B? Already we have discussed, because there is a very long list, very big pro forma for grading A and B that is available and on the website of DADF. What should be very long list. So criteria for A or B, what should be the different requirement, starting from the bull, bringing the bull, man, even interview is also there. There is a provision of interview of the personals involved so that no one can tell lie. The person who is feeding the bull, they will take interview, how we are feeding, how much concentrate you are giving, how you are taking the bath at the time of visiting the shed. So interview, provision of interview is also there. So many things are there in this criteria. Is there any MSP or dilution rate for observing the pro? Yeah, depending upon the concentration. There is no any MSP, depending upon the concentration. Ultimate aim of any of the semen station is based on getting quality postha motility. So quality postha motility, they are concerned with the quality postha motility, and certainly dilution depends upon the concentration and motility. Very good question. What if window AC? Certainly there is more chances of infection of the window using window AC, or even the centralized AC is even recommended. Athenas, please refer. Please, after you are done, I need the whole PPT. Yeah, sure, Athenas, I'll send you. Dr. Sital, please provide the suitable laboratory for our country. Karyotyping, yeah, for karyotyping, cost is not too high. A person has approached. We have also discussed with our director researcher. He is charging about for one disease hardly 2,000, 3,000 like this diagnosis. Private is also the NBA. This some NVAGR is also doing like that. So that can be done. That can be done. Which is the best, first or second ejaculate? Can't say. Many a time first or many times second. 2 ejaculates, and there is also provision. There is already reports are available that is saying if you are mixing 2 ejaculates, so one ejaculate is having tendency to support another ejaculate, and that will give better postha recovery. Then Dr. Amarinder, is any plant-based extender? Nothing has recommendation like from this MSP, from MSP side. But already soybean milk is available, so many are available. But there is no clear cut. Generally, tris is being used all around. Please tell me, you can see the NDDB website. Vishnu is asking software that is available on the NDDB website. Even DADF website is also available. At what frequency or interval one can check the semen quality from the store? Okay, at monthly, at least whenever we are just selling the semen sample, we must check, and a stored sample must be checked or on monthly basis, at least monthly. Initially, this was on random 3 months or 6 months, but now they are saying you can check on monthly basis. Now, sir, how old egg we can use in the diluters? From Arun Kumar. This is recommendation that we must use fresh egg, but this is my experience that 2 to 3 days are okay, but should not be more than 2 to 3 days. Try to, that's why this is important that we have to make a liaison from the supplier, egg supplier, that every day they are supplying fresh egg. This is more important. Then what are the constants of quality cement production in Bihar? Sorry, I don't have answer for this question. No lab is here in the Bihar, or Bihar State Livestock Development Board should have, because in most of the states, Bihar Livestock Development Board is looking after the cement production station that center for that particular state. So I don't have idea. Sorry, gentlemen. Please show all the Vishnu, all slide once. I can't understand. You need slides or once? I can't understand. I can share this slide. That will be placed on our website. Anyone can take. What is the importance of different color straws? Certainly importance is, but directly simply by the direct observation of the color, we can also, that will be easier in identifying the breed, particularly breed. No more other reason behind. Is it necessary to this Pinky? It is necessary to keep bulls in quarantine for 60 days if we have their genealogy or history of no any disease. No, this is important. Every bull, whenever this will be procured or brought in the semen station, must be quarantined. This is mandatory. Arun Kumar, is any minimum time gap recommendation between collection and cryopreservation? Yeah, this is a fixed protocol. But for 2 subsequent collections, there is a maximum period is 15 minutes. Maximum recommended period between 2 collections of a single bull is 15 minutes. But for cryopreservation, when you go through the courses, certainly there is a protocol, equilibration 3 to 4 hours, then biological freezer, in biological freezer 7 minutes. So this is a protocol. Dr. Ankesh, how should anyone do to protect themselves while examining taste and surrounding structure for purpose of breeding bulls? I don't expect this question from Dr. Ankesh because you are involved in his PhD program with all these activities. So protection is important, and protection should be always have gumboots, aprons, and all these things. So this is important, and our collection set should be in such a way. It should made such a way that it must provide the protection. Very good question from Arun. Why 30 days wait before dispatching? Yeah, this is important because in due course of time, if any bull is found positive of any of the infectious diseases, at least we should have certain period. We should have some straws so that we can dispatch and we can protect our herd from infection, our female herds from the infection. Chandrasekhar Azad, any agency for checking semen quality in Bihar? Bihar, I don't know for Bihar. You are a better person. Quality can be checked by anyone. This is a simple laboratory procedure. Dr. Dushyant, is any MSP for manpower per bull? Yes, I have already discussed, I think, in later slide, 7 to 8, on 7 to 8 bulls, 1 person. And I think no more question. So thank you very much.
Very class.
So is there any question, or mic is over to here, sir?
I think we are over with through with the questions.
Yeah, we are over through the questions.
Chaliye, fine. I think a very long session you had. We are already.
I'm sorry that taken too much time, very long time.
No, sir, it was nice, very good interaction. काफी अच्छा रहा. So, चलिए, on my behalf, I thank all you as for delivering a very nice talk. And now it's over to Dr. Chandrasekhar for proposing a vote of thanks.
Respected dear sir, dean sir, and participants, thanks all of us to join this important seminar, and also thanks to Satya PRO. Thank you all for making this program successful, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yes.
Thank you, sir.